This video covers installing the TM Flex R, a removable flex steel build plate, on your 3D resin printer. Follow the steps to check fit, prepare the stock build plate, adhere and trim the magnetic pad, level your printer with the TM Flex R installed, print a test, and quickly remove it from the printer. Flex the steel plate and your print will come free without pulling, prying, or risking injury. If you haven't purchased a TM Flex R, they can be ordered at the Tiny Machines 3D website and will be available in a variety of sizes for most 3D resin printers. You might watch this video once or twice to familiarize yourself with the procedures before actually performing them. Then follow along step by step and pause the video when necessary. Each TM Flex R includes just about everything you need to upgrade your printer so you can remove your finished prints with ease. You'll also need 90% or higher isopropyl alcohol, a sharp hobby knife or razor blade, and some paper towels. The TM Flex R package contains the removable flex steel sheet, adhesive magnetic pad, and sandpaper. Don't remove the backing on the magnetic pad yet, as you still need to check fit, and it needs to be in place for proper installation. First, before you do anything else, carefully check that the size of the TM Flex R you ordered correctly fits your printer's stock build plate. If the flex steel plate is too small or too large, contact Tiny Machines 3D for exchange information. It's okay if the magnet pad is slightly smaller than the build plate, but it's usually oversized and will need to be trimmed. Checking the plate size before installation is very important, as you cannot exchange or return used plates or magnetic pads. Before the next step, note that some printers don't allow enough adjustment to compensate for the additional 2 mm for the magnetic pad and build plate. In this case, it's important to download a Z in-stop adapter from the TM Flex R product page on our website and print it before the pad and plate are installed. To begin installation, remove the stock build plate from the printer and remove any residual resin. Thoroughly clean the build surface with a towel and 90% isopropyl alcohol. And do this a second time to be sure that any resin or oils are removed. Use the included sandpaper to scuff down any burrs or rough areas and clean it again with the alcohol. The magnetic pad must be adhered perfectly flat to the build plate. Peel about 1 inch of the backing from one of the short sides of the magnetic pad. Carefully align the pad to the 2 corners of the build surface. Then firmly press the end of the pad in place. Pull the remaining backing from under the magnetic pad. Working from the inside out, firmly press and adhere the pad to the build surface. You can also use a squeegee, flat plastic tool, or the pad's backing. Use a sharp hobby or utility knife or a razor blade to trim the edges off the magnetic pad that extend beyond the build plate. Thoroughly clean the magnetic pad surface and the flex steel plate. Do this before every use to ensure the plate will firmly attach to the magnet and stay in place during printing. Reinstall the build plate on the printer. With everything clean, carefully align the edges, then install or snap the flex steel plate in place, grid side down. Now that the magnetic pad and flex steel plate will be in place during printing, the build surface will be 2 mm lower than it was with the stock build plate. For most printers, a normal bed leveling procedure will set the new home Z, compensating for the difference. As covered earlier, some printers don't have enough build plate adjustment. Therefore, it's necessary to print and install an adapter so the end stop is triggered with the build plate 2 mm higher. With or without an adapter, leveling the bed is still necessary. For printers like the Creality LD-002 R, Loosen the bed leveling screws until the build plate drops to its lowest position. Begin the Home Z procedure. It is recommended by some manufacturers to remove the vat, clean the printer, and use a piece of paper, or use other methods to level the build plate. In those cases, you should follow the specific procedure for your printer. However, as demonstrated here, the bed can be leveled with the vat in place as long as it only contains liquid resin and no cured or hardened pieces. When the build plate has stopped at Home Z, press down on the plate and tighten the bed leveling screws. Load a print file into the printer and begin the print. When the print is completed, pull down on the tab to easily remove the flex steel plate and the print. While holding the short ends of the flex steel plate, slightly bend and flex the plate until the print releases. Much easier and safer than prying it from a stiff build surface. However, smaller parts and supports may be too fragile or not release completely, and it may be necessary to use a plastic razor blade or other tool. When using the TM Flex R, flat surfaces of the model can now be printed directly on the plate's build surface. If the plate's grid is visible on the print, this can be removed with additional cleaning and finishing. Before its next use, all liquid and cured resin needs to be removed from the TM Flex R plate. The plate can be included with the print when it's washed, or if larger plates can't be included, they can be soaked in a flat tray, turning it occasionally. Any hardened resin that remains on the flex steel plate can be removed with a plastic razor blade. The Tiny Machines 3D TM Flex R system for resin 3D printers saves time, prevents damage to prints, and protects you from injury.
Inspected and tested 3D printers. Upgrade installations by experienced technicians. Excellent service and support. Tiny Machines 3D.